Hey everybody, this is Sully 5 Freaking Onion Rings, and today I got a good one for you. I've gotten back to FPV, and actually I'm on to not FPV as much as DJI and quadcopters, and how to be the perfect DJI drone operator. You can call yourself pilot. Go ahead, call yourself pilot. Drone pilot, how to do it. And this came about from a news story of a fire going on in California where they were going to do a flyover and drop water on a fire to help put it out, to extinguish this fire. But they had to cancel it because there were so many drone operators, pilots, in the area, they had to cancel their flyover and water drop. I'll have a link down below about it. And I thought, noggin knocker time. How to be a perfect FPV pilot in the age of COVID when your hair is this sweet, this sweet. If you have COVID hair, you gotta give a like and a thumbs up down below because COVID hair rocks. So we're gonna go over 3 things today about what you have to consider when you are out piloting your quadcopter. People, places, and things. So every time you want to fly, you're going to go out, put your equipment out, set up an area, make sure you're alone because you have to be alone because anyone else standing around in your awesomeness is going to be blinded by the awesomeness. Make sure you go out alone, set up in a park, make sure it's a crowded park, make sure there are people around, and make sure you fly overhead of all of them, fly over. And make sure you have the loudest props possible because you're in a park and you're flying legally, hopefully, and you want to make sure that everybody around there knows that you are asserting air dominance. So all the people who are out having a good time, they need to know that a quadcopter pilot is out there, and they need to know that you have air superiority and dominance over them. So make sure you go out and you fly over people. Make sure, just fly right over them. And make sure you get close-up shots. Make sure they can see the camera point down to the people. If you can do this on a beach, that's even better. And especially if it's a beach crowded with people in bikinis and that type of accoutrement, so to speak. Make sure they can see the camera just zoom down. And even if you can get one of the zoom lenses to pop out, you know, make sure, because people love quadcopters and they want to come over and they're going to approach you and tell you what a great job you're doing flying your quadcopter over people. If you're on a playground and you see children playing, make sure you do hovers around. Do the little circle around thing. That's how you make sure that you know that everyone around you knows that there's a quadcopter in the area and you are asserting your air superiority over them. So with people, make sure you fly around them. Just fly around and over, especially crowds. They love it. Crowds, children, and people out minding their own business, not expecting to be seen, because they will hear the quad. Make sure it's got loud props. They will hear it, look up and go, oh my God, it's a quad. Yay, quad master. They'll call you quad master at that point. It's awesome, so that's good. Let's go to places. See, we actually covered places and people because you have your beaches, you got your parks. But when I say places, I mean like, make sure you fly, let's say airport. You want to see the flybys. Make sure you fly near the airports at about 400, 500 meters, not feet, meters. And you can get those really cool flybys. And if anyone says that's wrong, just tell them, you know, it's only a pound and a half quad drone in the air, and airplanes can take that. So it's no big deal, no big deal. And yeah, so just fly. If you hear that the Blue Angels are going to do a flyby, make sure you put your quad in that airspace, okay? Because you want to get that cool shot. You just want to see that plane fly right by. It's awesome. It's great. The other thing with places, if you're in a park, waterfalls, things that are pretty and there are people around enjoying nature, make sure they hear that quad overhead. So once again, that goes back to people, but make sure they hear it and make sure it's as disruptive as possible so that you can, you know, assert your dominance and they know that there's a quad around and they feel safer. You're doing this for their safety. The last one gets us to things. And by things, I don't mean objects. You know, anyone does like a fly around of, say, the White House. You know, you can fly around the White House and that will be totally fine. That's a thing. But that's not what I'm talking about here. When I say things in this place, I should say newsworthy things. So if, say, there's a traffic accident, fly your quad over and get pictures of it. Just fly around. Never mind that there might be helicopters or things coming in. Doesn't matter. You are the DJI pilot. You have $1,000 to burn, and you earn that right to fly over any traffic accident. If you see a fire, forest fire, fly around it. Make sure, because you are reporting the news, and you are doing a public service at that point. You are not just a DJI quadcopter pilot. No. You are a public servant at that point, serving the news. So if you see a traffic accident, if you see bank robbery in progress, you definitely want to report that. So fly your quad right up there, and and if you can record, make sure you get DVR or some type of remote transmission, because there is some possible let's say some possible reason that your quad might be shot out of the sky, and you want to make sure you get that footage. And whenever you say footage, you gotta call it footy, by the way, footy, F-O-O-T-Y, and not footage or flight recordings. No, footy, gotta call it footy. But anyway, when I say things, I'm talking about important events. So if you see a political candidate who's giving a speech, make sure you fly near them too, because you don't want to leave them out. That's my 3 basic rules to being a perfect DJI quadcopter pilot. Make sure you call yourself a pilot, because you are flying an unmanned aircraft, and technically that makes you a pilot. Whatever you do, don't go out and get your FAA 107, even if you're doing it professionally, because who cares? And don't get your ham license if you are doing FPV and using the 5.8 gigahertz, and get the strongest VTX you can if you slap on your own FPV system. So with those 3 things in mind, people, places, and I want to say significant things or events, with those 3 things in mind, you too can go out and be the perfect quadcopter pilot. Thank you very much. Hope y'all have a good day. Like and subscribe down below, and we will talk to you later.